Good evening and welcome to our January 4th Parks Commission meeting. LakeCAM will be recording this evening. Is there anybody else recording? No? There's nobody else recording. Unfortunately, we don't even have anybody else with us tonight.
What do you mean we don't?
Yeah. Another uncommon thing. We'll jump right in to number 1 on our agenda. Any Parks Commission announcements? I don't have any. Items from the clerk. Any items, Peter?
Just a couple of things, just a heads up. Got a email and phone call from a woman, Tabitha Yeager, about doing some kind of a nature walk program and trails at the parks. And so she's going to send some more information and I've invited her to come to at the next meeting.
Sure.
And the other thing is, and again, this will also come up at the next meeting, but we just got a request for the polar plunge again.
Or what? Oh,
polar plunge.
In March.
At Clear Pond.
At Clear Pond, I think it's March, the end of March.
is that with the policeman that requests for a benefit?
Yes,
Okay.
so that's it.
All right. Number 3, review and vote to approve minutes of November 29th and December 7th. Let's start with November 29th.
Let's see, halfway down the page, is there such a word as addenda?
Yes.
Okay, then I didn't look at it, but I was questioning it. ADDENDA,
Mm-hmm.
what is, it's supposed to be addendum?
No, it's addenda.
On the next page too. 1, 2, 3. 6th paragraph. I think you meant they will not pay all utilities. Or now pay, I'm sure you meant now, NOW?
Can you just tell me how the paragraph begins? So
I think 6 on page 2, go down,
Yeah,
where it starts with $12.16 per month for utilities. They will, I think, now pay all utilities.
6.
Okay.
Oh, yes, right. They will now. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the very last paragraph, there should have been a bigger group working on the contract. More people would have known. I think it's NOWN. It's just typographical.
Mm-hmm.
And down on page 3, at the end, the last paragraph, Brian Day reminded everyone that there would be
Would not be. Would there be no vote tonight?
no vote. Okay, yep. And then on page 4, I think Boston Tavern, at 1, 2, 3rd paragraph down, Boston Tavern should still be required. I think you meant it, a D on the end.
Yep. Third paragraph, third word to the end of the line.
Where it says Boston Tavern should still be.
Nope.
That's page 4.
Go back. To require.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's all I could find.
Thank you.
No problem.
Item 1, line 2.
Oh, are we going to accept this or?
Nope, I have a couple more.
Okay.
Item 1, line 2, is they recommended. Item 1, line 2.
Where are
The
you?
recommended, including,
Okay.
Line 2?
then I have
Oh,
page
favorite.
4, paragraph 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tracy Craig McGee. It's a hyphen, not a
Dash,
comma.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. Page 5, paragraph 10.
Page 5. Thank you. I don't have a page
Okay.
5.
Paula's, yours and mine are, because you printed yours out separately, they're numbered differently.
Oh,
That's why I couldn't find all yours.
Oh, okay, so,
Took me to the third one to figure it out. Page 510, assured her they are not. So it says Leah Fabian said that Boston Tavern is estimating a goal of $1 million per year in food services. She wants to be clear that the room fees are not included in the late fees, and RE Sky assured her that they are.
Yes,
That's a huge,
yes, big,
big difference.
thank you.
The paragraph right below that one, it says should have been.
Okay,
Got it? And then line 3, it says there is not a requirement. 1, 2, 3. The second sentence, there is not requirement to
Mhm.
award.
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody else see any additions or corrections?
one of my worst performances.
That was a big,
that was a long
long
report.
minutes, yeah. Is there a motion to accept these minutes with those changes?
Let's make a motion that we accept the minutes with these changes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All aye.
I'll abstain, I didn't read them.
Okay. How you feeling?
Shitty, excuse me.
Oh, that's all right. That's all
It's
right.
record.
You sound
Oh,
great.
tell them about the onions under the feet.
Oh, I
Oh,
saw
Oh, he
it.
must have
I
seen
saw it.
that. You can go
Thank you,
home,
but no thank you.
try that tonight.
I think I'll pass on that.
You can do mullen tea. That'll work too.
The next set of
Mullen.
minutes, I just had one correction. It was on number 2. Darren's name is Derren.
Okay,
Oh, it's D-E?
Yeah.
It's not Darren, it's Darren.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you have any corrections for that one?
Not on that page.
Okay, what do you got? I also sent him this letter, by the way, so he should.
oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Did you have other corrections, Paula?
No, not on the first page, but on the second page, if we're, no, not the second, I think it's the third. I think you misspelled my name, that's it. Under item 7, 1, 2, well, we can, motions by Brenner, et cetera, and there was, you just left the A off my name.
Oh, we got a new member, huh, Paul?
Yeah. No talking, you said.
Sorry.
Being punished. A motion to accept those minutes with those corrections?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes with the changes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed.
Oh, I'm sorry, on that one before we, on page 4, FLAA is charged. I think you left out the D for the Ted Williams concession.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down.
Which page are we on?
The last one.
Oh, 10.
Okay.
So with that addition, we make a motion to accept the
Okay.
minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Okay, 4, review park finances. I think we're gonna make it. It's still touch and go.
I would just note that this includes, having, taken out that $22,000 for
Yes.
the basketball court
Right.
resurfacing.
So that was the $15,000 we had put in for our capital expense and another $7,000. So that line item is minus 7,000.
Okay, it was 22, right?
Yep. So that is on the last.
So at the bottom of page 12, that's three up from the bottom, capital improvements, acquisitions. So So you can see
okay.
$22,000 expended for the basketball court resurfacing.
Yep.
So it's encouraging that it's still,
You were still that close with that?
we're still in the red,
Yeah.
I mean, in the black, excuse me.
So we have 7,000 remaining.
No, it's,
7,000
It's-
over.
7,000
Over?
over. So we're minus 7,000.
Oh, okay. That's a minus.
Maybe Scott knows, what is it, Brenna?
Oh,
Earnings on investment?
that's the one.
What page are you
The
on?
next one. So it's page 13, earnings on investment 482000.
Okay. What is it? We have investments.
I believe that's the earnings on the cash that we have.
Unlike the savings accounts, our retained earnings?
Yeah, it's the money we haven't spent yet. That's because we're different from the rest of the town. We actually have a cash balance. You'd have to see the financial, you'd have to see the balance sheet to understand it,
Oh,
what's on it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in years, but there is a portion that gets applied to us.
Okay, cause it just changes so much, like we budgeted $500 and we've already received over $2,000.
Right, and if you go back the past couple of years, we'd received more
Right, and then
and got
less.
less.
Yeah,
And it went down.
Right, there was
so
no-
we changed our appropriation to reflect what we got last year, and now all of a sudden, now we're getting more.
right. Yeah, there was no rhyme or reason. It was like 300, 600, 3,000, 2,000, like it was
Yeah.
weird. Okay. That was a question that we all seem to have today. And I'm sure we've seen it on there many times before.
so we're over by
So we
1,500.
received, they've applied more to our account than what we had budgeted to receive based on last year's numbers.
Okay.
Last year's numbers were down. You gotta remember, going back a couple of years, I mean, like during COVID, we spent more than what we had. So in a sense, our cash balance was zero, negative. So we weren't earning anything because we didn't have any cash. Over the last couple of years, things have gotten better, and we do have some cash, so we do get a piece of the pie.
We're,
And the town accountant takes care of that.
okay.
He applies our portion to that account.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions, concerns, or comments on this week's financials? Okay. Next is fertilizer and electricity charges, which is on page 14. I think it's the same exact one that we've had last meeting, right, Peter?
It is, it is, yep. Well, the page 15 with the electrical
Yep.
payments for this year, that's the same as I handed out last time. Since then, page 14 is what I put together, comparing the field usage fees for 2022 with, well, and then extrapolating for what they would be for 2023. So just keep in mind that in most cases, the leagues took advantage of the opportunity to pay in advance. So whatever fees we set for 2023 would become the basis for what they would pay in advance this coming year,
Okay, minus their 5%.
minus their 5%.
The only thing that I would like to see is the winter light bill for John Pond Park for the lights. Well, of course, for the light bill. Because I'm betting that some of these lights that we're charging them for are lighting the parking lot and the safety lights. Cause we don't get two bills for John Pond Park, we get the concession stand and the lights. Right, do we get a parking one
Yeah,
at John Pond?
I thought the parking lot lights, Scott would know, I thought there were just some lights on one of the poles that were aimed toward the parking lot.
There's one towards the parking lot and one up behind home plate.
Yeah,
There's two, or there were two.
aimed at the parking lot.
Well, safety lights, so
Yeah.
towards where the building used to be in the woods that are over there,
But for years,
we just charge them the whole thing.
we weren't getting charged for it.
Oh, they don't charge us for those?
They
In
have
the
now.
past,
For some reason, there was a snafu, we weren't getting charged for them.
okay. So if we look at the winter bills and there's 0, we know we're not getting charged
Right,
for
like,
those.
if you look back at Vaughn Street ball fields, the third one over on the top, look at March and April, $10.70. That's just the fee that they charge per month to keep the on.
Yeah,
There was-
almost.
There was no electric use. And probably if you went back and looked at January and February, there was probably the same amount, probably
The
the $10 fee. You know, I think some of the other ones you see $8.75 or something like that. It all depends on the, you know, there's small incidental fee,
Right,
you know, like if you look over at Ted Williams Camp ball field, you know, June, July, and then, you know, October and November, it's $8.75 a month. That's just the fee to keep it
keep
open.
it on.
If we closed it, it would be more to pay to reopen it than what we're paying
right,
for 4 or 5 months of leaving it on.
right.
So I think if you look back in January, February, December, it was probably that small $10 fee, whereas probably this year it'll probably be higher.
Right.
How much higher, I don't know, because it's 2 lights.
Right. Because those, like the ball field lights, we have to actually physically turn on. And the other lights just come on.
Correct. So I don't know under what category they are.
Right.
I don't know if they're under the concession or if they're under the ball field,
Right.
or if
they
I don't
split.
think there's a separate bill,
There-
is there?
There's one meter over there that the town pays for and we don't. I don't know which one that is. Because we got because there was an extra bill that was put on our box once, and it didn't match up with any of these. And I went to Lori and asked her about it. She said, oh, that's one that the town takes care of, but the address is for John Pond.
For
Park.
John Pond Park. That's probably it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're good. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or suggestions about these fees? Or are we ready to like put them together to add them onto their contracts or agreements?
Somehow we've got to come up with a number for women's blooper ball, because they did play under the lights this past year.
Okay.
They didn't in the past. I mean, they may have played 1 game a year or 2 games a year, but this past year they did play a considerable amount of games under the lights. So we've got to come up with, and that should reduce co-eds
Co-eds.
by some fraction, or whatever I mean, if we charge them $100, then co-ed should go down $100,
Right,
you know, something.
okay.
And they only did this during October, November, or when did they stop? When did Blooper Ball stop, or when were they playing?
Co-ed played till November, I thought, beginning of November.
They played late.
And Blooper Ball,
And ladies blue ball only plays the last week they play when the kids are out of school. So the last week of June, July, and the first 2 to 3 weeks of August. They're usually done by the 3rd week of August.
okay. So but the co-ed plays until October?
Co-ed started in June and went till beyond October. I'm not sure of the date exactly.
So they,
I mean, as you can see, there's a charge. There's $98 in November, so a portion of that was, you know, that was their time. That wasn't the women's. October wasn't the women's. September wasn't the women's.
yeah,
August, You know, some of that was the women's. July, some of that was the women's. I mean, they did play a couple, because of their schedule, they did play, like one night a week, one game a week under the lights. I'm just, you know, fair is fair,
Yeah,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out how you'd,
Right, in years past, they had played very, very few, if any, games under the lights.
right, and it's kind of tough to try to figure out what
I know.
the women's
I know.
blooper ball, because they didn't go beyond August, right?
Right, it was just the month of July, 3 weeks in August, and a week in June.
Yeah.
If
So
you'd
you
like,
Go
if
ahead.
you'd like, I can look at their schedule more closely and then
You might
Come
be
up
able to
with
pick
a-
out some times, we might be able to pick out, and,
come up with a recommendation
I
for
mean,
the
even if it's
percentage here.
$100, it's something,
Yeah,
you know,
Right.
that should be applied to them and taken from co-ed.
okay, and then I'll just figure that out and we'll,
I mean, fair is fair.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
and then we can do it at
The next
postpone the
meeting.
next meeting. But Scott, do you have any idea how, pre-Lake, the youth softball, the lights were calculated? Cause I can't figure out that number.
Which one?
It's highlighted there, 9875, youth softball under lights for 2022. It was, and I don't know how that was calculated. Do you have any idea?
I mean, they were playing, in prior years, they were playing some under the lights. I don't think they played much under the lights this past year. But in past years, they were playing under the lights, and that's why the women weren't. Because they were.
Okay.
Right. Because there's only so much time, so it's a either or.
Exactly, and then when co-ed started, you know, I
Right.
mean, they played all their games
They
under
get
the
it.
lights.
Yep. Okay.
So I mean, we could ask, I suppose we could ask Free Lake Softball if they played any games under the lights. If they said yes, then we can assess them a fee, you
Well,
know.
it's on the
Yeah.
schedule. You can look at the schedule.
Yeah.
That'll tell us what.
I emailed them today to see
Okay.
whether
Alright.
they did. I haven't heard back.
All right, so we'll refine that and bring it
Okay.
up next week.
All right, the next one, Town of Lakeville League Agreements. So Peter asked if he could put together one application for everybody to use, and it has all the information from all of the league agreements. And I said, whatever makes his life easier, like I don't see the league agreements, well, we do because we vote on them, but he puts it all on the schedule, so whatever makes, and keeps track of who gives what and who owes what, and so whatever
It
makes.
used to be one, and then everyone felt it was better to tailor make them for each group, so you didn't have this big sheet and you're checking the box, and that's why it went to individual groups with individual contracts. Whatever works.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever makes your life easier is fine with
It
me.
just, that's the way it migrated. We used to have one contract, and then as things evolved, and one group was using lights, and one group wasn't using the lights, and one group was getting charged for irrigation. Horseshoes wouldn't be charged for irrigation. Why put it on their contract? It just
Right.
cluttered so that's why we kind of went to, you know, a contract for each group,
each.
and it was tailor-made for each group.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to go back to one contract and check the box? Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
yeah,
Whatever's easiest for
It's a
people.
lot easier to revise one form each year than
No,
12.
I agree. I agree. It became,
Yeah, okay.
it became very,
Cumbersome.
for the groups. It became very confusing for some of the groups. You know, they're checking boxes that didn't apply to them. But, you know,
okay.
I guess my only question, are we gonna have a annual meeting with the groups?
Yeah, we definitely should, and I actually have that on my questions, whether to do it in February or the beginning of March.
Did we do it in March last year?
I can't remember when we did it. I think it got pushed back, yeah, for some reason. Peter might might have that. as-
Look,
So you can look at
you'd have
that
to
and
go
let
back
us
look.
know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and the same thing with this, since this is the first time we're seeing this, you can look at the agreement, check it all out, and we can vote on it next time, if that's what we're gonna use. Does anybody have any problems with using it? Does anybody have any questions or concerns with using it?
this, yeah, well, this is a draft,
Right,
so, any input would be more than welcome as to, I think I covered all of
I think you
Points.
should add another box that says other with a line.
With what?
where?
Well, at the end,
the,
like
I thought about that
after
too.
pickleball, you could do other, because we had that lacrosse team that wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
if there's another group or another sport, it just opens it up.
Yep,
Okay,
yeah, cause it's kickball, there's all kinds of things.
I would also have a second league representative, because I called every one of the softball teams, and I fully admit that I wasn't as active as I should have been, but none of them picked up my calls and none of them returned. So I wasn't able to contact anybody until we had that problem at the end of the year.
Right.
So I think we should consider having a second league representative in case the first one is unresponsive or
So,
unavailable.
like, 2 people from the softball league.
Right.
I think a lot of the leagues have that, don't they? Well, some of them.
Yeah, they just might not put it down, but
Put it down.
I'm sure there's all the groups have more than one person.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the groups are run by just one person. So, to put another name on there and another phone number shouldn't be a problem.
Not a big deal. Okay. Any other comments right now? Or are you saving for next week? We can go through it more closely.
I would ask if you see anything that, best thing to do would be to email me with any suggestions, and then I can put those in and have it all together for the next meeting.
Right. And if you want to FYI it to everybody so that we all don't send it to Peter.
Yeah, okay.
Update and possible vote on Loon Pond Lodge chairs. So I met with Heather again. We went through Loon Pond Lodge to look for a place to put chairs. There's stuff in the office. The room she uses is the office, which is the room between the bar and the kitchen.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
That used to be the storage room. It's got her office. It's got racks of storage stuff. There's no room in there for anything else. So we went out to her storage shed, the container where the chairs are located, and that is pretty full. And she's got to move some stuff out of Loon Pond Lodge into that storage shed for codes and things. So
For
I don't-
code, you mean to be up to code?
yeah, and to give them more storage room. So I don't see a way that they're gonna put those 150 chairs back into Loon Pond Lodge. I asked, I sent an email and asked if there was anywhere in town, and I didn't hear back. And then I said, so what are the options? Like, can we sell them? We can't sell them because it has to go through whatever. I wrote it down.
Has to go through the selectmen.
The selectmen
We
have
own them,
that
but it has
final.
to go through the selectmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can donate them, like if a tax exempt organization needed them, we could donate them to them, or we can store them. So that means somewhere in the second room of the office, it means in our storage shed that the lawnmower is housed, or Paula had a good idea to put them in the snack shack that nobody's using.
Yeah, 'cause Bob Beach emptied that snack shack.
We also,
That's right.
somebody
Which one? The one out?
in the middle of the fields.
The big one, where,
The one out in the middle of the fields.
yeah, near the ball field.
Well, we'd have to put a different lock on it.
Well, we put a
Well, it has the new
on.
door, so it's got the lock.
Okay. Well,
So that's an option,
just be prepared for it to be broken into, because it will be eventually. I'm just saying,
right?
because they think there's something in there.
There's something in there other than
Bunch of
chairs.
But that should house the chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause and then I
way
want to
we
clean
don't
the
lose them.
storage room
No, we don't want to lose them.
on our office, and somebody suggested shelves. If we put shelves up against the wall, then we can put all the little stuff on the shelves, and that would open it up. So I don't know if we're interested in getting shelves. We don't really have the budget left this year, but per chance next year we'll have some extra. to put some shelves up, and then we can put the hot dog steamers and anything else. We have the
That's
toilet paper for the bathrooms are in there, so we could put them on a shelf.
Some of the equipment in there, we have like 3 microwave ovens. We have a,
Yeah, I don't know where
Meat
these things are coming
slicer?
from.
huh?
So I don't know where some of these things are coming from,
I think
because they
a
weren't
couple-
ours, and somebody is just throwing them in there. The microwave ovens, none of those are ours.
They came out of the shack, I know that for
Well, they
sure.
came out of there, okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
who left them there, who's,
who
I don't
moved-
know.
Bob must have moved them into there.
Yeah, we asked him to clean that out,
I mean,
and he did, but we've got like 2
We spent-
2 or 3 cash registers?
we spent 2 days emptying that room so that we could use that room, and in a matter of 3 months, it's filled back up with crap.
Yeah,
I mean, we have the stands that they used to use at the for voting, the polls.
oh, yeah,
They moved them in there and left them there, bought new ones. So now we inherited them. We have to take care of them. You know, I mean, along the line here, the last
they
3,
bought new ones, why didn't they just come get the ones that are out there? I don't know, all right, silly question, but, you know, what a waste.
over the last 3 years, after Rita and I took 2 days of work and emptied that room and got rid of scrap metal, we got it taken care of and it was voted, and, you know, they sold some of it, and we filled up an entire dumpster over 2 days. She took 2 days and I took 2 days, and we emptied that room, and it was nice because groups like to use it instead of using our office. The idea was we have the extra, Rita gave us the extra table, and we had chairs, which are now in the other room, but we had a set of 8 chairs that would be the room that we could allow someone to use for meetings. Lock the door, they can't come in, they can't bother our office, and it's a great spot for them. It's an opportunity to let these groups use something and they don't have to pay for it. It's not hurting anybody, and can't do that because it's now filled up with crap again. You know, I mean,
And then there'll be the argument that it's not ADA accessible.
Yeah, well,
That kind of too. It's a no-win situation.
we're not holding the meeting, so.
no.
Right,
Yeah.
but we've got the meat slicer, we've got 2 or 3 cash registers, we have 3
That's
microwave ovens.
That's the stuff that must have come out of it. That's where it came from then. It came from the
Well,
snack stand. It must have come out of the snack stand.
At least two
Why is there a meat
microwaves
slicer?
are new, and definitely
It's definitely
1
meats at a
or
ball
2
game.
cash registers.
Yeah, I mean, that's stuff that must have come out of
Yeah,
that.
It's a big one.
yeah, and
I
then
mean, because
the other
stuff
stuff, we
it-
had the meat slicer, we had an
hundreds of
extra
dollars.
microwave oven, we had a cash register, but I don't know, they've been there. But the point is, what are we using them for, and should we get rid of them?
Do
Should
we
we
need
donate
to,
them to something?
did FLAA, was that there, did they run the snack bar that we can be like, hey, do you want, come get your stuff?
I mean, we can, but the premise was there was stuff in there that was owned by the Parks Department. So, if something broke down, it was your responsibility to replace it, you know, but it was supposed to be like, I think there's probably still a refrigerator in there. You know, we got a refrigerator donated from Savis's back when Savis's owned their plaza, and they redid all those machines and took out the individual machines and put in that nice big LED lighted. They gave us one of the nice big sliding door ones, you know, and I mean, it was enough to house, you know, all the drinks, you know. I don't know if that's in there or not.
I think it is in there. It's not plugged in, but I think it's in there.
Yeah, no, I hope it's not plugged in because it sucks energy.
Yeah, the old ones do.
Yeah, but, I mean, it served the purpose, you know, and we used it when I ran it for, the LPA. You know, but there and again, we had to pay the electric bill, so it was what it was.
So should we keep that, should we donate it to COA, or?
Well, cause there's a sister to it, in the one that's in the, kitchen. There's the one in the kitchen with the sliding doors.
Oh,
I
you
don't know
mean
if it's
at
still
Loon
there.
Pond?
Yeah, there was 2 of them. We got that one, and then we got one for the snack
Should we
stand.
put one of them, off of one for Loon Pond Lodge then?
Yeah, if they wanna, I mean, we
I mean,
could.
we need to clean it out, I don't
Right.
know.
I mean, if we're gonna store chairs in there, we gotta get everything out of there.
Yeah.
Cause unfortunately, there's a countertop in there too, and so,
Yeah.
but I mean, we could, cause you can stack those chairs
Yeah, it was
10 or
pretty
12,
empty.
15 high.
Yeah.
Once it's emptied, I mean, we could put them in there, cause it would be a shame to get rid of them and then have them leave and now there's no chairs.
Right,
you know? I mean, another group might come in and say, well, we don't have chairs right yet, you know? They might have to require them, but they need chairs to begin with.
Yeah.
And those are better than nothing. I
Okay.
mean, they're,
Yeah, and if we don't have enough room, we have the snack shack too. I mean, that's something we can use.
I thought that you were gonna put in the snack shack.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the supply room when we empty it out. No.
It's
Is that what the whole-
already
it's
full
al-
of chairs.
It's full.
Yeah.
I mean, because what happened was as soon as we
Yeah.
emptied it out, they were putting the voting boxes in there. You know, and then, you know, everything else just accumulated in there, and like I said, all of a sudden there's 3 microwave ovens and 2 cash registers. Where'd they come from?
Right.
Now I understand where they came from. They came from the snack stand.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, so we'll get
Okay,
those
so-
chairs.
We can work on, I bet Bob Beach could take all those chairs and put them in the snack.
Yeah, he's gonna need help. He's gonna need something to transport him
Yeah.
out there.
They
The,
have,
The,
wheel
There's
things
a
that
wheel,
they can put
we
them
have
on.
there's a wheel cart that goes with it.
Yeah,
yeah, and they have the truck and they have the golf carts.
Yeah, well, if he's driving back and forth across the grass, he should be using the golf cart, but how many can you carry in the golf cart? You know, a
We'll
dozen at a
see.
time?
Yeah.
we'll find out. Okay, that's perfect. Problem solved. Review FY 25 budget schedule. So the budget is due January 19th. Included in the budget needs to be issues and challenges we anticipate next year. We need to identify efficiency and revenue. I'll email this you
I was gonna
this
say,
list.
where is that?
No, I'll email
Okay.
this to you. Identify efficiency and revenue opportunities. Our accomplishments from this past year. Any enhancement requests. Existence of unmet needs and request for additional funding. That goes into the enhancement requests. And then capital improvement plan, which is things over $10,000. I assume this all belongs to us because that was what was in my packet, but it doesn't sound like it should belong to us.
No.
But
And did they
It
ask
hasn't
for
in
the
the past,
mission
other than-
statement too?
yes,
Other than the capital improvements, it hasn't
yeah.
in the past.
So I'm hoping that you're all on board with having a meeting next Thursday, just a budget meeting.
Okay.
And as much as I like to, I don't mind meeting here and doing all this, I think it would be better if Loon Pond Lodge is open so we can all sit around a table so we can look at the same things and discuss it
Agreed,
Yeah,
together,
agreed.
we
Rather
don't
than-
need Lake for that meeting.
yelling across the
Right,
room.
if we're in a rounded table, it's much
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, I mean, if LakeCAM wants to come and watch us do that, that's fine, but it's just, this is like,
Well, we'll
Like-
just have Peter take notes on what we're
Yeah.
doing and submit it that way.
woohoo. It's just easier when we're talking about budget and things to be like, right here, here's this, here's that, look at this.
Do you want the Excel spreadsheet? I mean, they normally send something to us. I know we're a
Okay.
little early.
They
They-
sent it, we have it.
Oh, they did send it already? Okay.
Yeah, Melissa and I started working on it.
Yep,
this
they sent a
morning.
packet. I wrote down, Loon Pond Lodge. This year, we had $110,500 in the budget for them, for our revenue.
That's all we got, 110?
Well, that's what we budgeted for this year. For next year, we conservatively have 150,500 on our budget for their revenue.
In 25.
Yeah.
They're estimating 140, 60,
Hun- We're doing 150.
150.
That's
Be-
what's made up of
Right,
food
because
service, rental, and
well, their flat
Room.
fee is 85,500 for 9 months at 9,500 plus 3 months at 10,000. So that's 30,000. So that's 115,000 on its own. And then $35,000 in room fees, rental fees for the room. We just took the weddings, and that's the average wedding is $700 a wedding for the room fee. So we just did the weddings. We didn't do any of the other events. So that would be like bonus.
Who set the price for the room fees? Was it
We
select
just
board
did-
or the us?
We just used the room fees that they've had. Like
The
we
same?
haven't- Yeah, we haven't discussed
Okay.
raising.
you have to
That's
start
a-
with something.
That's a whole nother.
I mean, you have to come up with a number
Conversation.
somehow, and best practice is to use what's been done before.
Right.
Unless you have concrete numbers like a flat room, you know, a flat
Right.
rate. I mean, now we have concrete numbers. We've never had them in the past.
No,
It was,
right, maybe, right,
no, it was. It was based on what they did before.
right,
And then in conversation with them, do you have more events scheduled this year than last year? So then we bump it up accordingly. I
Right.
mean, you know, it was an estimate.
yeah. Which, I mean, besides that core, it still is, it could be more, it could be less, we could, whatever, but,
Are we meeting
Well-
at 7 again?
Will we be discussing,
Yes, 7 good.
issues and challenges also?
yeah, so I'll send this to you, what they're asking us for, and you can write down all our issues and challenges, and you can write down all of all our accomplishments, and everything that you think we need to
Address?
address, because our cover letter for the budget can be up to 3 pages long.
So this is different from prior years.
It keeps referencing on the premise of what we did last year.
There was no page, there was no letter. It was just the budget. It was just numbers.
Yeah,
It was just the Excel spreadsheets.
yeah,
That's all they got from us.
yeah. So we'll get that meeting on the books. Is that okay with you, Peter? You can make it?
So do you want to set a meeting date now? Is that
Yeah,
it?
for next Thursday.
What's that date?
Is the 11th?
Yeah.
The 11th, okay.
Is 7 o'clock good for everybody? Is earlier better? I don't know what time anybody gets home from work. I don't know if everybody likes to eat dinner with their families.
It's fine for me. It's up to you people that work.
Seven's
Is 7
fine.
good for you, Scott?
Yeah, 7's fine.
Okay. All right.
Because after that, all bets are off.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, we already discussed bedtimes. Capital projects update. Mike, everybody saw his email, right? So he's
Mike's sick.
almost done. We just have to wait for spring till we get our turtle sweep. And then they can proceed to finish the drainage.
What's left? I saw them working there, but I never got a chance to see what, do you know what's left?
I think it's
in
just the
terms of
drainage.
parking lot?
Yeah,
Drainage?
There's a big pile that's gonna be moved.
A pile of
It's,
Loam?
it's,
dirt?
Mulch?
it's a combination. It's not dirt, but it's not loam. It's screened dirt.
Okay. So it's like a mountain of that. That
There's
has to,
two big piles. If you go down there and you look, there's a pile to the left. All the weeds are growing out of it.
Okay.
So a lot of the crap has been taken out of it. The pile to the right, doesn't look so good, and it's been there for 10 years. It's because it's just a pile of dirt.
Can
So
they grade it or they want to move it out?
He said,
exactly what's gonna happen is it's gonna get graded and flattened out
Okay.
so that he can do a better job with the drainage on that end of the fields and hook it into the culvert, because that was the whole idea, going back when they got this permission. I wasn't on the board then, before me. That they got this permission, that they were gonna catch into, if you walk down there, there's a big rock culvert that goes down into the back, and that's where it's supposed to drain into that, so that the water goes away from the fields, away from the parking lot. But because now those piles have been there for 10 years, National Heritage says, oh, they're there. So we have to wait.
Oh,
He wants to move them. He wants to flatten them out
okay,
so that he can do a better job with the drainage.
right, but we
but-
have to wait
but-
for heritage?
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
And
Is there
that won't be
something else,
until the
Brenna?
spring.
Was that it?
no, I was just gonna read his email, but that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. All right, Park, I emailed after our last meeting with the select board, I emailed the walkway. So he's getting me the estimate of the two, the concrete and the thing together, and the saying prevailing wage, then we'll be all set when he's ready to do that. I think that's it for our capital projects. The shed's done.
Yep, shed looks good.
All the stuff from outside the shed all the extra wood is now inside the shed. Bob and I put all the stuff that you took out back in. And I'm like, I don't know how Brenda took all these stoves out because I'm like,
I know,
I had to
but
go home and
they're
get the
heavy.
2-wheeler. I'm like, I'm not carrying this. So
It
that's
was a
all
long
done.
week.
Yeah,
That's all done.
Question,
Yes.
when we approached the selectmen to get the balance of the money for the fields down there. There were some other incidentals like a bench, not a bench, but
Bleachers.
seating bleachers, thank you. Do we wanna work on purchasing those so that we have them for the spring?
Was the
That
team
was
gonna,
included.
Yeah.
were the teams going to donate one? Did I hear that, or was that?
That was originally what they were gonna ask, but we put them into, as long as we had to go back and ask for more money anyway, we put those into,
The budget
The
for,
budget for it.
so we have the money? Okay.
That's what I'm saying, that extra 35,000 we got, there was a few other things like that.
yeah,
The only thing it didn't include was bringing the electric and the water over from the other side of the fields, which was supposed to be in the original
Design.
bid specs. And someone took them out.
yeah, the final approval came through for that?
That's what I'm asking, I believe it did, I'm not, oh yeah, it got voted, didn't it
At
get
that
voted?
meeting?
Oh no, that wasn't town meeting, that was from the selectmen,
On the select-
I'm not sure.
Alright, so we'll have to look into that, Peter,
Mike would
whether we
know.
have,
And, and that's for,
I don't remember.
for the lights and, of electricity and water? Is that what we're asking
No.
about?
No.
Or
No.
just?
It's for the
No.
fence,
Bleachers.
The electricity and the water was supposed to be in the original
Right.
bid. They got taken out. Someone at town hall took them out of the bid specs. So it never got bid on, it was not part of the bid, it didn't get done, it's not gonna get done. So that was something that we were thinking we could ask soccer for.
Okay.
You know, they were asking, well, is there anything we can do to help? Well, you know,
right,
I mean,
That's a
if you
good-
want water to the
for the
bathrooms,
bathrooms,
you want electricity over there, for whatever, we
Yeah.
need to bring it, you know, ditched and brought across.
Especially if maybe in the future they wanna put up a scoreboard. They might have to, use the electric.
Yeah, I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I mean, if we put that bathroom down there, it runs on electricity,
right,
you know? I mean, there's air conditioning
And
in
water,
it. And
yep.
there's water, and it's all done electrically with water.
You mean the mobile unit behind them? Yeah.
Right, so I mean, you know, ideally, we should bring electric over there. At the same time, if we're gonna do it, and someone's gonna do it, they should bring both lines over.
in one trench, same hole,
Exactly, one trench, get it done at the same time.
yep,
Um,
alright. Review and update current projects lists.
I don't have an update.
That's all right. I don't think anything's changed since last time. All right, so January 11th, budget meeting, January 18th, a regular meeting, then February 1st, February 15th, March 7th, and March 21st. First and third.
Can
And
you-
then we'll
can-
find
Can you
out
give me the February dates again, please?
1st
Mhm.
and 15th.
Okay.
And then we'll find out when we had our, league meeting last year.
yeah, I wanna say it was February, but I'm not, I mean, ideally, we've done it in February, but I know Kenny Lally said in February, he doesn't have a schedule yet.
Right,
But, that could be a moot point, because if he's the only one requesting that field, it really doesn't matter.
right. And if he knows what field he wants and when he wants it,
That, what I'm saying, he's requested that, the Babe Ruth, well, let's call it the Babe Ruth field, Field 4, the big field down and back. And I did get an email from, Dale Simmons. Did he send it to you too? Okay, he sent it to me and he says, you know, just pencil us in,
Oh, I did receive that, yes.
yeah, it was just I'm glad, you know, that's perfect, that they want to play softball again, so that's all. He's not running it, he retired last year, but obviously he's still involved.
so it's men's softball.
Men's softball, yeah, that they still want to do it, to keep them in mind, they still want to play, so if we're penciling in dates and things, that's one to continue.
Okay. All right, anything else we forgot to mention? Perfect. Anybody want a motion to go home?
Me, I'll make a motion,
A second.
7:49.
Any discussion? All right, we will close this meeting at 7:50.